A wonderful evening once again, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. If you've missed the show on Radio Bob, today we were discussing the issue of Pastor Makado Ramafulane, who is a reformed fake pastor. I don't like using the word fake pastor because it's like you don't respect pastors. But he talks about in his book Church Mafia, the syndicate that was involved in forming false and fake miracles in the church, and how he went to various countries, including Mozambique, I think Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Nigeria, to get different traditional herbs and magics and powers to be able to bewitch people, because that's what I think it is. When you're in a church and you promise to help them and you performing miracles using magic, that is bewitchment, and that is witchcraft. And I'm raising this because I feel that the issue of witchcraft, the issue of false religion, is a serious issue in Africa, and it's not unique to Africa. I feel like we don't discuss it. We are not moving over this hurdle because we're not discussing it properly and engaging it head on as Africans. I think one of the things that I love about Europeans and how they handle issues is that they are very practical and they deal with things exactly as they are. So there was a time in Europe, really, guys, where witchcraft was an issue, and they literally, they included and incorporated the issue of witchcraft in their constitution, in their law as well. And what they did is they had investigators who would investigate how to determine if an issue involves witchcraft, how to tell if an illness is induced by witchcraft activities, and even how to tell if somebody is involved in witchcraft. So they really took this taboo and supernatural dark force subject and reduced it to science in order for them to be able to face it and conquer it, because you cannot conquer what you do not acknowledge, what you do not see, what you do not acknowledge, and what you do not understand. Because once you acknowledge it, only then you are able to understand it. And I think that that is where we need to be as Africans. I think we need to stop there. In South Africa, we have this word we say is skoen pampir. We have this skoen pampir mentality. Everybody wants to act like they are clean. They don't know this thing. They're not involved in traditional, activities. And I find that that's what keeps on making us fall for the same trap over and over again. Because I know 99.9% of Africans, if they experience something once or twice, the third time, they already think it's witchcraft. If they get sick, they go to the doctor doesn't know, they think it's witchcraft. And it's not because they are stupid, it's because it's there. And we need to really start acknowledging that this thing is there. And as much as there's religious freedom and human rights that came with the democracy, there must be systems that are put in place that ensure that people don't fall prey to such things. Number one, people end up practicing witchcraft because they don't want to work hard. Yes, there are people who are just jealous and are silly, but people don't want to work hard, but they want the results of working hard. And yet we live in a time where everybody wants to arrive. Everybody wants to drive the biggest house, the biggest car, take their car to their children to the best schools. So we having a society that is enticed, where we are shown that everything is possible and we can all be great, but there are people who don't want to do their hard work, and there are shortcuts that people want to take. You saw last week there was a video by Jackie Pemutsi who was talking about people embracing snakes to get wealth, women doing just the most atrocious things, to secure rich men. And I feel that until such time as we talk about this, and I applaud her for talking about this, and there are lots of people that criticized her for talking about these things, but I think that that is the beginning of moving in the right direction. We have to open our mouths and talk. People have to talk, because I've realized that the people that say they are Christians, they don't they've never been involved in traditional practices, in ancestral worship, bona, they don't know anything. They are bazalones and they pray. Most of the times they are the ones who are most involved in these type of activities. They are more involved than people who will just tell you, Mina, I believe in my ancestors. If you mess with me, I'll deal with you in this way. And if I experience problems, this is how I deal with them. Those I feel sometimes are the safest people to be around, because then you know what you're dealing with, and you can make a choice if you want to be with this person or not. But once you start having people at a pastoral level deceiving people, using the name of the Lord, using Jesus's name, calling them to church, using their poverty. And that's what I was also, I digressed. I wanted to talk about the fact that with all these freedoms that came post-democracy, religious freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of worship, blah, 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 what are the countermeasures? Because we know freedoms come with responsibilities and with challenges. I feel that one of the greatest reasons why our people keep falling prey to things like witchcraft, and they are practicing witchcraft, and they are falling prey to fake miracle pastors and witchcraft pastors, is because of poverty. Number one is because of poverty. Number two is because of illiteracy. And I've said that also we don't tackle issues head on. But I think as Africa, it's time that we tackle this issue head on, guys, because really it's not serving us any purpose. Honestly, it's not doing anybody any favors. Imagine right now, European countries are discussing cures for COVID, engineering, how to build cities, how to build town, how to take over the world, how to finish us as a human race. And Tina, we are busy finishing each other with stupid things like muti, get rich quick schemes, miracle monies, silly things. I think somebody at leadership needs to zoom into this, guys. I'm not even gonna talk about what happened this week with Bushiri, because everybody's talking about it. Nobody wants to address the real issue, because it's not every pastor that is practicing this, guys. There are good pastors out there. I'm a born again Christian. I'm a believer, and I go to church, and I cannot imagine my life without church. But there are rotten potatoes that are spoiling it for everybody, and those need to be dealt with. So I just wanted us to listen to this clip from the video when he was being interviewed.
In Mozambique, you went and you gained a power called fire by force.
Yes.
In Nigeria, you then went and got a power called back to sender.
Yes.
And then in Zimbabwe, you got one. You met a man that can remove objects from somebody.
Yes.
What did those powers mean?
Yes.
And how did you utilize them?
Okay. The kind of power that I collected, in a simple summary, I can say is demonic powers. Because when you talk about demonic powers, you talk about things that happens without human beings understanding. So when I collected them, I was trying to have these miracles happening in the church. Yes, so I went to Nigeria, I collected all those powers, I went to Mozambique, but all these powers, in a way, somewhere, they teach you how to deceive people, because it is not 100% power. The power is to deceive people, but other things is tricks and staged miracles.
And I'm curious how you actually collect it, because you make it sound like a simple procedure. You pick something up at the shop. How do you collect the powers?
All those powers, they have a procedure like initiation. In Nigeria, before they give it to you, you have to join what we call a secret cult. It's a secret society where you belong to this particular spiritual house. And in that, you have a spiritual father, somebody who initiates you into that kingdom. And you serve them. Before you go to the church, you bow down to those altars. Before you do anything, and in the church, you are no longer preaching Christ. You have to preach prosperity. You have to prophesy to people. You have to teach people that demons are following them. So you shift away from the true gospel, and you start bringing this end-time gospel.
Sure. I mean, it's compelling stuff. In your book, Church
Yes.
Mafia, you talk about some shocking practices that you had to take part in order to gain these powers, right?
Yes.
At some stage, there was a room in your house that nobody was allowed in. At some stage, you had to sleep by a grave site. When you look at it all in hindsight, your journey, at what point did you realize that perhaps I have gone beyond the Rubicon, that I've taken it too far? What was that moment for you?
Once you have joined, it is not easy for you to realize that now I have gone too far. But in my instant, it was one morning when 3 policemen came to arrest me in a case of mutilation. They came and said that we came to arrest you because of you are involved in a case of mutilation, where I was accused of dealing with human body parts to strengthen churches, to strengthen traditionally doctors, to also strengthen bishops. So when they took me to Hoshimampuru, and I was there for about 3 months. It was at that particular point where I said, this is not the kind of life that I was born to
Pastor,
live.
was that false? Was the accusation false?
There was a case in Soshanguve during that time. They arrested people who had human body parts, but I was not involved in them. But those people, they came to me trying to sell to me those body parts. I saw them with my naked eyes. So I did not buy them. So I was, yes. So when they did their investigation, they tried to trace where these people they went and tried to sell this body
I have
parts.
to ask, what goes through your mind when you see that happen, when people come to you?
Or when you
with those
agree to
body
take a
parts?
look at them.
You know, because I was doing what we call one-on-one consultation, and usually these people who deal with human body parts, they target people who are spiritual people who are helping people. So they came to me and they had them in a body bag, and they said to me, if you can use this will strengthen your work, it will strengthen your church.
Sure. We're going to continue this conversation because so many things have come out.
Guys, this is serious, this is real, and I really want to thank Pastor Makodo Ramafulani for coming out on this tell-all book, and I hope his life will be safe, and I hope God keeps him so he can continue to expose these forces of darkness that are bringing confusion to our communities, to our lives, to our struggle. And I really pray that this is just the beginning, and we are going to start making headways in terms of tackling this evil, ugly side of Africanness that really has to be dealt with urgently so that we can start focusing on the bigger things. Thank you very much. Bye.